Hello folks. This is kind of a spin-off of the previous video, but I thought as long as I had everything out anyway, I would continue on to show you another recipe using, another canning video using number 10 cans. And this one is the premium quality, thick Italian style crushed tomatoes. And the ingredients in this can are tomatoes, salt, and it says it may contain citric acid. So the citric acid would be used to bring the acidity level up. It doesn't mean it is in there, but it could be in there, which is okay because as a home canner, we would use lemon juice or citric acid to bring up the pH to make this safe to can. So what I'm doing with this product today is I am making a batch of pizza sauce. So hang in there. I've got the recipe opened up. I'll just go over it and then we'll be back to do what I hope will be a short video on canning pizza sauce from number 10 can. Again, gone back to my Bernardin book and I've looked up pizza sauce. Over here, if you're in a Bernardin book, you'll know it's page 364. Otherwise, I think the ball books are off by a few pages, but same idea. And the recipe requires 13 cups of plum tomato puree, which I have. It says 3.25 liters. It took me a little adjusting to figure out what that was in ounces, but it works out to work out. Let's just say that. But you should do your own math. Into that, it says a half a bottle of, no, it doesn't. Into that, it says a half a cup of bottled lemon juice. But today, I don't have any bottled lemon juice because we haven't been to the store yet. So today I am going to use white vinegar instead of the lemon juice. I don't really think it's going to have much difference in taste, and we don't mind the taste of vinegar anyway. So in order to decide whether or not I would use it, I know the pH of lemon juice, and I just got out my pH strips to make sure that the pH of the vinegar was as high, and it is. You can buy these little pH strips online if you want to get scientific about it. And to that we're going to add 2 tablespoons of oregano. Now, I could add oregano, or in this case, I'm going to 2 teaspoons. I'm going to add a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, and I'm going to be pretty generous about it. I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt, and I'm using pink Himalayan salt because it's nothing but salt, and you add whatever you're comfortable with. The reason that we use pink Himalayan salt in canning, or kosher salt, or pickling salt, is because it doesn't contain any anti-clumping agents, which can make the water or the syrup cloudy. And then we need a teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm going to be generous with that. That's how it works. And other recipes will call for olive oil. If you're comfortable using olive oil in the recipe, then do. I have, but it definitely isn't an approved thing. So I'm just going to stir this up really well, and then I'm going to put it on the stove and I'm going to heat it up. And oh, I can smell it already. I am actually going to give it a taste right this minute and make sure it's where I want it to be at this state. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Right there. And used in those really good quality tomato sauces and bases really makes a huge difference. So I'm going to bring this up to a high simmer on the stove, stirring it pretty constantly because it's very thick. And I don't know if you've had something very thick get a bubble underneath it, but it erupts like a volcano. So make sure that you're keeping it stirred down. And then we will move on to just, I'll pack it in the jars like I did the other tomato products. I will pack it into the jars. I will put on fresh seals and rings. So I'll be back pretty quick. It's all steaming and I am really pleased with the result. I will tell you that off camera I put in 2 teaspoons of sugar because I just felt it was a bit acidic and wanted to adjust that for my family, but that's not how it has to be for yours. If you don't want to add sugar to it, please don't. The key is to taste it along the way, so don't forget that part. So now I have my jars and my seals. This company, 4 jars, does recommend that we give our seals a wash with soapy water. I'm kind of an old school canner, so I still heat them all and it works fine for me. I have never had a failure, so I must be doing something right, I guess. So now I'm just going to pour this tomato sauce into the jars. I'm going to give it about a ½ inch of headspace, keeping in mind that it's going to swell as it heats up. And I'm very excited to be putting this away in my cupboard. Now, one of the things that I thought might be kind of cool, kind of cool. Am I too old to say cool? Interesting. One of the things that I thought might be kind of interesting is that my brother and sister-in-law are right now setting up a new house. And I thought, how could I help them out? I'm not able to help them with a lot of the physical work anymore, but I could sure feed them a meal. And sometimes it isn't convenient for them to stop what they're doing and drive the 15 minutes to my house to have dinner. So what if I took out to them a little care package that was made with a pint of the tomato sauce, and they probably wouldn't need all of that for the 2 of them. A homemade pizza crust, which I could easily mix up in my bread machine, and then the rest of the fixings for them to make a pizza when it was convenient for them to, but without all the work or the thought that has to go into it. I know that they're well capable of putting together a pizza if they have everything right there, all in one small container. I think that they would really appreciate a gift like that. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring them the ingredients or make them pizza. And again, I have about a ½ cup, a ladle full of sauce left over. And that's it from a number 10 can. Now I paid $3.99 for that at the Italian store. And I don't know if you've looked at the price of pizza sauce, but you know that it's definitely, you're not going to get 6 bottles of pizza sauce for $3.99 anywhere else. So it's definitely a saving. And as you can see, this would be enough if you're just a single person or you just plan on making one pizza at a time. You could definitely make this in jelly jars instead, and it might just be the perfect amount. $3.99, folks. Now I'm just going to get these rims cleaned, and I just wanted to say there's always somebody watching and catching me, but I just wanted to say that I did take all the lids back off those jars, and I did debubble the tomatoes. I appreciate you all watching me though. It's easy to make mistakes, and so far I haven't made any that were critical, but with you guys watching me, I know that that's not likely to happen either, so I appreciate that very much. I'm just going to clean up the rims. This smells so good, and it tastes pretty fantastic too. And I'm going to put the tops on, and I'm going to get these in the canner, and yes, they are going to go into the canner for 30 minutes as well. Now, I do just a tad more than fingertip tight probably. Somebody said fingertip tight is when it quits spinning like this and then you just go like that. I'd probably give it another one of those. It was the way I was raised to do it and it works for me. And I haven't had a lot of stuff coming out of my jars, not siphoning or breakage. I think in the past 10 years I've had one jar blow at the bottom, and I'm sure that was my fault for not having even heat through the jars and the canner. So I'm just going to put these into the canner, but before I do, I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming along with me every week. I never expected that so many of you would appreciate having me come into your kitchen or your living room and talk to you about the things that I do. And I'm really grateful that you're here. I want to also say that all of the directions for all my videos are in the description box below. And if you're having trouble finding that description box, if you're on your PC, it is an arrow over to the right hand side of your screen and it just points down. And if you're on your phone, it's the same thing. It's a faint little arrow that points down, and if you click on that arrow, the description box opens up. And I hope that you will come along again on my next crazy little adventure and that you've learned something today, because I really want to bring you things that are useful to you in your household. So until next time, folks, take care, and I will see you again really soon. Bye-bye.